we want to share with you just how powerful the standard plan is. We're going to share deep dives on three key capabilities. So the first is better data collection with built-in service delivery benefits. So our no-code application builder allows anyone to quickly build mobile, web, and messaging apps that not only collect critical data, but also guide frontline workers through best practices and protocols. Second, we'll take you through powerful case management for end-to-end client support. The system provides decision support and rich engagement for any setting, even offline. And third, having a secure foundation for programs to meet today's evolving pressures and needs. We've built everything on an open source, professionally managed foundation with dedicated technical support and top tier security that meets the most rigorous standards, including GDPR and SOC 2 compliance. So, with that, we'll be diving into detailed demos of each of these capabilities. And I'm going to hand you back over to Erin Quinn to start with better data collection. Over to you, Erin.
Thanks, Amy. And as Amy said, the first thing we're going to talk about is how CommCare can help you collect better data. I'm sure that a lot of you guys who are sitting here right now might be on monitoring and evaluation or ICT for D teams. And probably one of the main things that you think about is data quality. You're probably in charge of a lot of data and making sure that the data that you report out on is accurate, clean, and up to date. And CommCare is great at doing that. I saw a lot of you guys already use CommCare. Hopefully, I don't have to tell you that. Hopefully, you've already seen the power of CommCare in doing that. But in addition to that, it also has a lot of features that can help you improve the life of your users and improve the services that your users are delivering to clients along the way. And so we want to try to highlight a couple of those things that you can do with the CommCare Standard Plan specifically and all of our other plans. So for those of you who are in M&E or data manager type roles, I'm sure that data cleaning is a big part of your job. And while of course there are a lot of ways to clean data on CommCare, the best practice is of course to have users enter clean data from the start. In CommCare, you can use validation conditions to restrict the sort of answers that your users are able to enter. So the two examples that you're seeing looping right here on the screen are on questions about date of birth and phone number. So when you're collecting information on something like date of birth, we of course know that there are going to be all sorts of different ages and dates of birth. But the one thing that we know is true about all dates of birth is that they should not be in the future. And so that is the one constraint that we've added here. And you can see that if you put in a date of birth in the future, you're going to get an error message and it's not going to go away and let you proceed until you fix that. Similarly, with phone numbers are very long. It's very easy to either omit a number or to accidentally add an extra number. And so you can restrict the answers for this based on string length, so the number of digits that you enter in here. And similarly, if something is too long or too short, you can give an error message and not let your user proceed unless they've given the right number of digits. And both of those are just ways that you can ensure that your users are entering clean data from the very start and that they're not needing to actually do any data cleaning on the back end. One of the other things we want to do is make sure that our applications are helping our users as much as possible. CommCare can be used as a powerful job aid that helps reduce the mental burden of your users with features like auto calculations. This is an example from an emergency response cash and voucher assistance application. And what the application actually does is it looks at the composition of a household. So it looks at how many people are in it, and it determines a cash and voucher award based on who is in that family and its characteristics. So specifically, I think for this algorithm, it gives more cash to any families that have pregnant or lactating women, children under 5, or anyone in the family that has a disability. This is a lot of math for anyone to do, let alone a frontline worker who might be doing this in a crowded facility for 40 or 50 families a day, all of whom are in the middle of experiencing a really bad crisis and have, households just clamoring to talk to them. And so what we're able to do is build this entire algorithm out on CommCare in the back end so that none of these calculations have to be done by the user and CommCare can do them all on their own. This reduces any errors that the frontline worker would make from having to do this math manually, and it makes their life easier and their work faster. You can see here at the end, you're getting that 846 Quetzal. That's the number for that cash and voucher distribution. So that's exactly what the user is shown. It's a value add not only for the user, but also for the data quality, since we know that far fewer mistakes will be made this way. And lastly, you can use skip logic, label messages, and creative formatting to give your users helpful information and guide them to the right decision. So following on the exact same emergency response application that we saw from the last slide, this is a continuation of the same survey. So again, we're actually assessing households right after they have experienced a crisis, and we ask them all sorts of questions about their current situation. Things like, do they have adequate shelter? Do they have access to food and clean water? Do they have any health or medical needs? Do they have any protection needs? It's just a really, really long survey with a lot of questions, particularly as you start to answer yes to any of them and you start to need to take notes or be sent for referrals for anything. And so this would really be a lot of information for that user to have to remember all throughout the survey. What we're able to do at the very end of this is offer the frontline worker a summary. And this summary will tell the frontline worker exactly where to guide the particular person and what services they're going to be eligible for at the end of it. You can see here after the health and protection questions finish, that will hop onto the summary screen. And you can see it not only gives the cash amount here, it shows that they're eligible for shelter assistance, food assistance, and then it tells them exactly where to go. So this is actually summarizing every single finding from this form, and it's giving some helpful information to the user. So it's telling the site worker that they can actually proceed to distribute cash and give that out to the person right there, and then that they're going to need to guide the person to the shelter distribution desk and the food and water distribution desk as well. This sort of guidance is what helps make your user's life easier and can help deliver better services to your clients. There's so much more that you can do than even what I've just shown you here, but that's just a small taste of it. But now what I want to do is hand it over to Arti, who's going to give you some more examples of the really powerful things you can do using our case management capabilities.
Thank you, Erin. So with CommCare's new and more affordable standard plan, you're not just getting better data collection and built-in service delivery, as Erin explained, you're also going to get all the essential tools for case management, which lets you track people, places, or even things over time. So if you register a person, like a patient or a pregnant woman, and save their details in the app, CommCare will allow you to follow up with them over multiple visits, record their progress, and even respond to urgent needs when they come up. And once the support or treatment is complete, you can simply close the case. And don't worry about the internet access because case management works offline. So you can keep using the app wherever you are. Let's take an example and look at how case management helps deliver better and more informed care to clients. In this example on the screen, you can see there's an application called CommCare, which means care for mother. A pregnant woman was registered a few days ago by a frontline worker. Now it's time for a follow-up visit to be done. So when the worker opens the case list, they can immediately see all the mothers who were previously registered. So we can see all the list on the screen. And unlike systems without case management, there is no need for the data collector to re-register the same person at every visit because CommCare, through case management, automatically retains the client's information, making it easy to pick up wherever they left off. And this helps the frontline worker know exactly what's needed today. So on the screen, you can see we are looking at the profile of Mother Pushpa, who was seen and registered during an earlier visit. And when we go ahead and open the follow-up form, you can actually see some more in-depth summary of her last visit, what services were provided, any reported symptoms, and what needs attention today. So this makes it easier for the worker to provide personalized, timely care without missing anything important. So in the last slide, we saw how case management helps frontline workers provide better, more personalized care by remembering past visits and highlighting what needs to be done today. Now let's look at how it also helps them, meaning the user, the frontline worker, stay organized and manage their workload, all from within the same application. So when a frontline worker opens their case list, as you can see on the screen, they immediately see all the women they are following up with. And by default, this list has been sorted by how soon a follow-up is due. So the most urgent cases appear at the top. You'll notice Mother Suman, Pooja, Rekha, all are overdue by a couple of days and clearly flagged so that they don't get missed. But this case list is just not a static list. It's an interactive and customizable list. So if we go and click on the top three buttons that we see on the screen, you can actually sort the list by high risk status or by EDD. So if you go and click the list, you will be able to see that all the mothers who are under their high risk status will be shown on the top. And if you sort the list by EDD, then you can see all the mothers who are planned for visitations, they will appear on the top. So for example, if we chose high risk, you can see all the mothers with the red flag on the top, meaning that they have to be followed up quickly. But if we go and check on EDD, then we'll see all the mothers who are nearing the delivery. So this makes it easy for frontline workers first to scan their list, then search for any key cases that needs attention, and then quickly prioritize visits so that they can focus their time when it's needed most without the hassle of tracking everything manually. So in the last two screens, we saw how a frontline worker uses the mobile app. Yes. So in the last two slides, we saw how a frontline worker uses the mobile app to manage clients and plan their day work. But let's switch gears and look at the backend, where data managers and M&E teams can easily access and analyze all the information collected in the field. We started with the app builder, and now we'll move to the data export section, which is under the CommCare HQ. And at data export section, that's the place where we can configure and download the data that was collected in the application. So you can see we are exporting the data into Excel. And once we have got the data in Excel, you will notice that CommCare has pulled everything together in one row for each client. And especially the one highlighted in yellow color, we are looking into the information collected for Mother Pushpa that we registered and followed up. From her registration and follow-up visits to danger sign assessments, to referrals, delivery outcomes, even to case closure, everything is in just one row. Each column at the top that you see represents a different data point that has been drawn from multiple forms in the app. So instead of searching through separate files, you as an M&E person, you can get a complete picture of the entire care of all the pregnant mothers, their journey, all in one place. And this makes it incredibly easy to review individual cases, compare clients, and even analyze trends across your program with just a few clicks. So now that we have seen the value of case management, both in the field and in the backend, let's turn it over to Erin to explore what the standard plan offers for program management and administration on CommCare HQ. So over to you, Erin.
Thanks, Arthi. Now that we've seen a lot of the power that CommCare has, particularly on the mobile side, when it comes to helping collect better data while delivering better services and enabling case management. In the last example that Arthi started to show a little bit of what the CommCare HQ backend looks like. And this serves as a secure foundation for programs to meet today's evolving security needs. From safe, secure data storage to customized user provisioning to ease of supervising your workforce. CommCare offers secure, flexible data storage and exporting capabilities, empowering organizations to manage and leverage their data with confidence. With full compliance with the strictest data security protocol, including SOC 2 and GDPR, all sensitive data is encrypted both in transit and at rest, which ensures that maximum data security and privacy. Data exporting in CommCare is seamless, enabling you to extract form and case data in various formats like CSV and Excel on the standard plan. And you can easily take those exports into Excel or other BI tools like Power BI and Tableau for analysis. Whether you're tracking progress, analyzing trends, or sharing insights with stakeholders, CommCare ensures that your data is accessible, accurate, and secure, empowering your team to make data-driven decisions while maintaining the highest standards of compliance. We know that teams deploying mobile tools on the ground are made up of lots of different team members with lots of different roles that they play. Some field supervisors and program managers overseeing day-to-day operations, some data and M&E experts, a lot of whom I bet are here today, and other IT and application building whizzes, a lot of whom Arthi and I have the pleasure of training. But with CommCare's roles-based permissioning, you can ensure secure access and streamline workflows for every single user to fit their specific role. This ensures that every user has access only to the parts of the platform that they truly need, nothing more and nothing less. For instance, here in this video, you can see that we are creating a custom web user role that has access to reports and can also edit web users, mobile users, and groups. This sort of role would be great for a field-based supervisor who needs to manage users and know what they're doing, but who we don't want to have access to the application or data. This approach not only enhances security, but also simplifies the user experience for all of our users, since they only need to learn the parts of the platform relevant for their role. And again, this is especially important as we know that upskilling our users is a huge challenge in this time of reduced staff capacity. There's an old saying, if you build it, they will come, which basically has come to mean if you build something that's really great, people will start using it. But alas, your program cannot rely on old sayings. You need data to back that up. And so that's why we have made a set of pre-configured worker activity reports to see if your users are using those beautiful apps that you have built for them. CommCare's worker activity reports provide valuable insights into the performance and engagement of field workers in real time. By tracking key metrics like task completion, case updates, and field visits, these reports enable program managers to monitor progress, identify potential bottlenecks, and ensure that services are being delivered effectively. This visibility is crucial for making data-driven decisions and improving operational efficiency, all while ensuring accountability within the team. It's a great way for you to be able to spot problems early and make sure that you can address them with your team. Whether you're managing a small team or scaling operations across regions, worker activity reports can help optimize performance and keep your program on track.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erin and Arti. That was a really helpful walkthrough of everything that's possible, or at least some of the things that are possible with our standard plan. So we saw better data collection, powerful case management, and access to a secure, robust foundation to manage data for your programs. All of this makes me wonder, will the standard plan work for everyone? And when should folks on this webinar consider a more advanced plan?
That's a great question. It will work for a lot of you and not all of you. So the standard plan is a great plan to start with. It's a great entry point. If you have not used CommCare before, it's a phenomenal place to start. If you are just starting to dip your toes into the pool of digital data collection, it's a great place to start. If you have a rather simple workflow, it's a great place to start. There is really, I think you said it earlier in the webinar, Amy, this is not like a stripped down light version of this. You really get a whole lot of the power of CommCare in this entry level plan. So, the full set of case management features comes along with it. So you really do still get a ton of the power with it. That being said, there are features that are not in the standard plan that are in some of our more advanced plans like Pro, Advanced, and Enterprise. So things like case sharing. If you have groups of users who are looking after groups of cases and need to share those cases, that's something that you would need to be on a more advanced plan for. If you wanted to use some of our more custom features like Save to Case, where you're doing some more advanced case management things, that's something where you need to be on a more advanced plan. If you wanted to enable not only case sharing, but more hierarchical based structures, you would want to use our organizations feature. And that is on our advanced plan. So I think standard is a great option for a lot of people. It won't work today for everyone. It'll work for a lot of folks. And then I think also once you're on the standard plan for a while, you might find that you outgrow it, and that's okay too. You might find that it works great for you, and then you want to keep doing more and more and more, and that's fine too. You might want to start using OData feeds and integrating with Power BI and Tableau. That's going to need a bigger plan. So, it's a great place to start, and I think you can always move on from there once you start to really see the value of what CommCare can provide for you.